feel like it took a few years. I feel like it takes most people a few years to get in with Joe. He doesn't like crowds, and he's a man of few words. He knew what the potential around here was long before a lot of people did, I think. You know, the morning light is firing, and the slough is just pouring off the line. I mean, I'm shooting it, and he's gone and it's out, and then you stop, and there's just this moment of like silence. I'd seen stuff like that in magazines, you know, and then here I am looking through my camera, just blown away at what we had just done. His notoriety kind of grew in those early years. People who knew, but he was flying under the radar a lot. I don't know if many people really get to see who the real Joe is.
What are you thinking about riding, Joe? Do you have a plan?
Well, I guess if we're gonna do something, we better make a move here.
Fuck, the snow feels good.
Yeah. You definitely could get a sled down there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. There's a bit of overhang there, I guess.
Probably go inside of it, maybe.
In between the cauliflower?
Yeah.
The first time I came across Whiskey Tahoe on Instagram, you didn't know who he was, what he looked like. It was like Whiskey Tahoe. It's like a fighter jet name, you know? So it's pretty sick to begin with, but then you see all these things he's riding, and none of it looked familiar. There's no location, there's no information whatsoever. It added to like the mysterious Whiskey Tahoe. Riding a lot of steep stuff around, but he was riding just a step above. Something I was most curious about was how he gets to snowboard as much as he does. Like, how is this guy getting it so much? Who is this guy?
You want my full Christian name? Joseph Donald Lax.
Where I grew up, you really had to work hard for what you got in life. It is rewarding, but you have to kind of fight for all of it to survive.
I can be a man, be big and tough for you, darling. I won't be enough. I would learn to move mountains.
It was pretty much, you know, straight up grunt work. I think it taught me it feels better when you work hard as opposed to just having it given to you.
Light in the tunnel, and I'm feeling great. You're the sun peeking through on that cold winter day. And if I could change a thing, you know, nothing would be changed.
My dad also instilled having a reputation about who you are, and being a person that works hard is respected.
You walked into my life at such a dark time when I couldn't make a move and I couldn't make a rhyme.
By the time I reached my teenage years, I didn't resent it, but I definitely didn't love it as much. Rebelling at that age is nothing new. It just happened. At that time, a propaganda tape landed in my lap and a whole new world was opened up. A whole new scene, a whole new type of music, and a way of looking at life.
It was just interesting, kind of crazy music that was like totally out of scope of what I had been exposed to previous. Kind of resonated for whatever reason, even though I was kind of like a hick kid in Saskatchewan, right?
I think when I was a kid, maybe being a farmer was a bit of a dream, but my dad, that was his dream. I think he could see that there was a bigger world out there, and I think he wanted us to go explore it. And that's what I ended up doing. I think I was about 15 or 16, and I kind of knew that I was going to move out west.
Snowboarding in the early 2000s, late 90s, like everything was Whistler. Kind of pieced it together that, hey, that place looks pretty good.
Whistler was one of those places that a lot of people would come. In the 2000s, there was so many film crews out here, and it was a real rat race. The snowboarding was growing so fast. It wasn't how many followers you had on Instagram. It wasn't your engagement. It was about getting shots. Getting the ender in the DVD or getting the opener. Money that was being thrown at snowboarding was insane. There was a lot of debauchery and drinking. You had the two major film companies. You had MacDog Productions and you had Standard Films. We were actually really the ones that were like paving the way with movies that were for the mainstream. Movies that your parents didn't see and were horrifying. Mike at MacDog was really concentrating on the Big Mountain Freestyle, the jibbing, and that kind of progression. Hatchet was known for his trips to Alaska and that big mountain riding. And they're the ones that were really covering that end of snowboarding, and they did it well. Those guys are the ones that maybe Joe looked up to.
I definitely was watching what they were doing. The standard movies, like, definitely stuck out, like TB5, which is like a classic movie.
That was huge in snowboarding's history, and that created the spark. You had Kevin Young, you had Mark Morissette,
Sheen Campbell,
Brian Savard,
Dave Bastriccia. Really like inspiring, well-rounded snowboarders. To be honest, all that stuff seemed like so far out of reach. Around Pemberton at that time, there was a lot of jump crews and ignored free riding terrain. As we got better at snowmobiling, the reality of getting closer to those lines was kind of realized.
It's usually pretty early when we go out with Joe. It's not always psycho early, but being up before light is usually a prerequisite.
Early, I think, is like showing up as the sun rises. Psycho early is kind of like leaving 3 hours before the sun rises. You're in the ballpark of 3 in the morning.
Joe pushes for that pretty hard and no one ever argues, because we know he's right. If you're there before everyone else, no one can beat you to it.
I mean, first and foremost, I'd rather just go somewhere where nobody is. But if you beat somebody there, then yeah, that's fun.
Forgot it's colder when you start at 5:30 instead of 9.
Yeah. Snow looks good around here.
There's not that many big mountain snowboarders out there riding what he is in our area. He's looking at lines that he's always wanted to ride. Stuff he's noticed before that didn't quite work, and then you get that right snowfall, and he goes for it.
They'll pick things out that I wouldn't think of to go ride, but they always have an aesthetic to them.
One of my main snacks always was pistachios, and this year I haven't done it.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably because when I was back home, my mom had a bag of pistachios from Costco.
Yeah.
$15.
Joel Lovren is somebody that I've been riding with a bunch in the last like 4 or 5 years. I think we kind of feed off each other in those moments, and yeah, it's fun.
So how do you want this rope set up? You want just one side to you, I guess?
Yeah.
I have a snow anchor on my bag as well. Maybe I'll use that.
Okay, buddy.
Okay. There you go. You're good.
I think Joe is doing a lot of things that were not like any average snowboarder.
Give me a little hair.
You've got a foot left.
A lot of those zones he's been in for a long time and longer than me. So to be able to talk to him about his knowledge, I'm gonna take his word for it.
Okay, I'm off.
You know, and those are things that you learn over time.
Okay, you're good.
Okay, gonna make my way across here, dropping.
I'm ready for the event. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let it spark, get lost in the art. Dreaming of better living, sinning, where does it start? Young kids gotta learn.
Joe does not listen to gangster rap. I listen to a lot of gangster rap. if you're hanging out with him or catch a lift with him, he's listening to punk rock.
Equinox ride, our pilgrimage began. 1,200 miles of cruise missile to our unholy land. We're fucking stoked, unlike we've been since we were pimple pubis teens. From every corner of the world, our fellow maniacs arrived to prove the meaning of the dudes had not been lost in time's antiquity, but had survived to leave this monumental side. They say you can't relive the past, but as the lights went down, it all came rushing back. Half a life away tonight, for the first time in a lonely life, young soul took flight. They stole the stage of flash and rage, we all screamed terminate. I half-headed a whale, sure wind breathing in my face. I didn't care, could not impair this rhapsodic transcendental state. When the music died, two ends of time had been nearly tied. Descending lights had scorched the flames, returning kings back to reclaim lost disciples that had remained to tend the flames. We stormed into the streets, a pack of raging troglodytes, waiting for a bus that rode hard into the night. Far beneath the cold robotic sweep of the radar operator's pale green glow, 20,000 leagues below, the place where all the best guys go.
I never saw snowboarding as a career pursuit. It was always about just snowboarding a lot. It's just purely an obsession. When I started as a firefighter with BC Wildfire, it was just a means to support my life in the mountains and snowboarding. Myself and some other friends, I think we figured it out that if we worked really hard in the summer, we could make good money so we could take time off in the winter. Came up as a firefighter to a crew supervisor to now where I'm at as an operations chief.
Prince George Fire Center, Temple Whiskey, Kilo. Yeah, Whiskey, Kilo, Fire Center, go ahead.
Do you want to go around or lower? So the 661's bucketing just down there. Can we get lower, or? We can. Yeah, looks like they got a start in here. Biz is probably going to get shitty back here, but oh, yep.
It's kind of like a tough one to say, hey, I enjoy this. I guess if I was to say, I enjoy the challenge. The fires that we're seeing on the landscape, at least in the last 10 years, it's really been amplified and tough to watch. You know, what we're seeing now, it's a way more extreme version of what should happen. I think you can't help but be humbled by that, to witness that. Life is fragile. It can be gone or changed in an instant.
All right, Chubby.
Let's go.
Yo,
I'm a backpack.
you are a backpack.
I'm a heavy backpack.
That's a lippy one.
I think for us, we've both had the mentality that we wanted the other person to fulfill their dreams and goals. And so when the kids came along, we realized we needed that lifestyle in order to survive and also teach them those skills.
Okay, you gotta want it. You want it?
Yeah, I want it. Did it!
We did it.
He came from this Saskatchewan upbringing that just was the way they did things, working hard to follow passions. He watched his parents do all that, and it shaped who he was. And then he moved on from that and realized how hard he could work to have this lifestyle that he wanted to live.
Yeah, my dad isn't that tough, but there is one rule.
One rule that my dad has is if you don't snowboard, then you're kicked out of the family.
No one's been kicked out yet. We all snowboard.
Joe definitely dreams up all kinds of big adventures, and some of them I am at home worrying about certain aspects. It's just impossible to stop someone from living their life. There is a bit of a misconception at times where people think he's just out there snowboarding in the backcountry all winter long, but in reality, he's with the family and the girls, teaching them to snowboard, and you know, I'll take some credit for that, but it really has been his just perseverance that gives the girls something they get to look forward to do with their dad. Now incorporating the girls into that and see them enjoy it as well has been amazing.
Most people get to a point in their life where like other things kind of take front and center, and the love for snowboarding kind of goes away, but he's just always been there. He's just doing it for the pursuit of big mountain snowboarding.
Wow, you got it, bro.
Yeah, buddy.
Always more tech than I remember.
It's a special type of person that tries that hard and is that hungry. Not everyone has that. He has set up everything to enable himself to snowboard for as long as he can. And he's probably a better snowboarder than he's ever been.
He puts himself in the right place all the time. He lives where he lives for a reason. He has the job that he has for a reason. I don't see Joe stopping snowboarding at all.
As long as he can, I think he will.
Currently, it's till the wheels fall off, so hopefully I got a few more years left in me. Whether it's mellower or a little less consequence, I think that snowboarding is snowboarding.
I think we're both gonna ride to be very old men, and we're probably just get up a little earlier. I don't think you would ever guess that Joe is into punk rock when you meet him. But I think punk is just a personality. It's just who you are. I think punk is like, I'm gonna do what I want. And I guess that's kind of what makes Joe punk. He does whatever he wants. And he's doing it. And he's been doing it for a long time. That's fucking punk rock.